Welcome back to another episode of Kick Your Boots Off. I'm your host, Kari, and I'm joined today by my bestie in the biz. Introduce yourself. What's your name?
My name is Klaui.
Varadi.
Klaui Varadi.
How do you say actually your full first name?
Unfortunately, it's Claudia Varadi. But when I moved to the States, I changed it to Klaui because nobody really called me Claudia, and I feel like never really felt like a Claudia, and so I decided.
Yeah, you feel like a Klo.
I feel like a Klo. And people back home called me Klau, specifically, which I feel like is the most similar to, in America, Chloe.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna change it, and then my mom was like, how about we do this spelling? Like, we were literally like in my room that I was like moving into. She's like, let's just do this spelling. So I was like, okay. And it's spelled Klaui, but pronounced Chloe.
Chloe.
But a lot of people will be like Maui?
Chloui.
Chloui, like Maui?
It's always Chloui.
But it's okay. I get it. It's all confusing for obvious reasons.
But it's so pretty.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Dude, thank you for being here after your shoot.
I'm excited.
And being super pregnant.
Yes. Third trimester officially.
Hell yeah, baby.
This Saturday. And I'm 3 months to go, but I'm ready.
Are you?
Yeah. I feel like I'm ready. I think I was born to be a mom.
Yeah, I think so too.
Even in high school, people were like, she's the mom. I drove like an SUV. I had like a Volkswagen. Like a bigger Volkswagen, and I'd be driving everybody, and
you're Mama Klo.
I was Mama Klo, yeah. That's who I am at the core.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, well, I feel like you should tell everyone what you do.
Okay.
And then we'll get into some life updates.
Okay, so I am so excited, but I'm a full-time, well, I'm excited because it's like so special every time I get to say that this is what I do. Like I never thought it would be. So anyway, so
wholesome.
what I do is I'm a full-time wedding photographer, and yes, I said wedding photographer, right? Okay.
Yes.
I was like, did I just say photographer? I do weddings specifically. I also do some maternity, and family shoots here and there, but I feel like.
And you were doing a lot of grad shoots.
Oh,
which,
yes.
Speaking of, are you still doing grad shoots this year?
Yes. I'm taking a very limited amount. Grad shoots is kind of how I got started, and it's truly like the reason why I feel like I am where I'm at today, because all the grads kind of end up like getting engaged eventually, and then they're like, hey, you did my grad shoot, like, would you be down to do an engagement session? And I was like, I don't really know what to do, but sure.
Wait, did that happen before you went full-time with weddings?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's so special.
And I do think that that's like, it was like a natural kind of way of the way that the whole thing flowed was really natural. But yeah, I used to do grad shoots. I started those in 2017. I was a sophomore in college. And I don't know, just all the girls around me kind of knew that I'd take some photos, so then some people kind of started asking if I would do their grad photos because they're so expensive, and I was like, yeah, $50. I'll give you 300 photos. Like,
oh my god.
I just
did not do that.
Oh, I for sure did. And then I remember there was.
I don't know.
It's just how I am.
You're crazy.
Yeah. But I remember it was crazy because I did charge like I think $50 or $60, and the one shoot that I think was one of the turning points in me actually thinking like, okay, I think I can like stop being a hostess and a server at Il Fornaio.
I literally forget that you did that.
Yeah, and then I was doing catering weddings, serving.
Oh yeah.
So I was doing those kind of simultaneously.
J's.
And 24 carats too.
Oh. Okay.
So I did both, and then so then one mom actually, so I was charging $50. One mom tipped me $100 cash, and I go, whoa! Now I made $150, like just like that. And all I did was like work for an hour. I was calculating like I'm getting paid like $12.50 in my hostessing job, and I was just like, oh my god, this is crazy. So then I upped my pricing, and then I upped it again, and then before I knew it, I was like just booking Monday through Sunday, to where I had to ask shifts to where like I was like, okay, I can't work in the afternoons because I need golden hour, and that's when I kind of felt like, okay, I can maybe start doing this more.
Whoa.
But then Kari had this fantastic idea.
I was gonna say, so like, where were you? Were you still working at the restaurant when I was like, wait, you're drunk? Maybe I was.
I'm trying to think.
Or maybe you were.
It was like a little bit, even I think before COVID, you brought it up because you were kind of starting into it, right?
No,
It was later.
it was later.
Okay, so in 2020, I was still working the hostessing job. During COVID, obviously all the restaurants shut down, and so I stopped working there, and then took a break. But then when things kind of went back to as normal as they were at the time, I kind of started doing grad shoots again. So I was doing grad shoots, but no longer hostessing and no longer working for 24 Carats or J's.
Okay, so you're just doing photo,
So I was just doing photo, but like,
and then we hung out, and we started talking about photo, and I was like, you should do weddings.
Yes, but you said that like multiple times to me, and I think
Did I?
yeah, because
I remember
once
one specifically at Nikki's house, which shout out Nikki, my bestie,
yes,
is the reason that I know
I
Chloe.
know. Thank you, Nikki, for
We love you,
introducing
Nikki.
us. Yes, we love you. No, okay, so the one there was actually multiple ones that I specifically remember. One is Silky's, and we're sitting in the corner.
Classic. Silkies.
Two,
I don't think I've talked about Silkies yet on this podcast.
well, he's
If
perfect
you
on
know, you know. If you're from Fountain Valley, you know Silkies. And nothing needs to be said.
Silky's
In addition
period.
to Silkies.
And then Cora's house at a party.
I've never been to-
Yes, you have.
Oh, for Nikki's birthday.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god.
And we talked about it then too, and we were in the bedroom. We talked about a bunch of things that night, but we were
Wait,
specifically in
No.
Cora's bedroom.
That was Halloween at
Oh,
the boys' house.
really?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. So there's like, well, so
We were in a boys' bedroom.
we were in a boys' bedroom.
It was a male's bedroom for sure. But there was like 4 of us girls
Mhm.
hanging out talking.
Mhm.
And me and Chloe, we weren't talking about photo then.
No.
We were going on some other tangent.
So what I'm saying is that night there's also I have a recollection of you saying like, when are you gonna get into it?
Are you sure?
I'm like, I would like say,
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
I would say I'm like 95% sure. Because I remember Silky's and I remember talking about it at Cora's, and I just have like,
Maybe it wasn't even an inkling to me yet that I would even be doing photo full time. No, I was not doing photo then. I was still a barista. But I feel like there were random moments where I would be like, oh, photography is so fun. And then obviously just knowing in general that there's a lot of money in weddings.
yeah.
I was probably like, oh, you're a photographer? You should do weddings.
Oh,
Not
yeah,
even
yeah,
knowing
yeah.
what I was saying.
Probably. Or maybe I'm just like mushing timelines together and like
Maybe.
mixing up. But regardless, it is
Anyways.
truly, Kari is the reason that it ever crossed my mind to get into it, because I don't think
Well-
that, thank you, because I never thought that I would have the confidence in myself or in my work if it wasn't for you pushing me to do it, and like, yeah. So yeah.
That's what I'm here for.
That's what you're here for. Pushed me to do the things that I'm scared of doing. I was really nervous about weddings because I felt like so many things can go wrong on wedding day, especially when you're doing photos. Like,
Yeah.
one thing has to
There's a
go
lot of
wrong as
pressure.
far as like your camera or an SD card or like whatever, and you're
Or
screwed.
Your battery dies.
Your battery
Or
dies.
There's a crazy mother-in-law. Or there's a really fucking bad coordinator.
Yeah, exactly. All of the above. And all those things are things that have happened and probably will continue to happen, because you're always gonna have situations like that, I feel. But yeah, I was
Aren't
so
you glad
nervous.
you're doing it?
Oh my gosh, I could not imagine doing anything else. I'm such a hopeless romantic and such a like sucker for love that let's be real, like if any of my clients are listening, you know I'm always crying. Like when you're walking down the aisle, when I'm getting the first kiss, when you guys are saying your vows,
She's crying right
and it's not the hormones. A year ago I was crying too. Now I'm extra crying. But yeah, I really love what I do, and I feel like it was so meant to be and just the whole way it kind of happened too, like going from grad shoots and then kind of the engagements, and then there was a girl who this year actually, so in 2018 I did her grad photos, and then she booked me for her wedding this year, so I got to shoot her wedding, and it's just like these like huge moments in people's lives that I get to be a part of, and I might not see them every day, I might not talk to them every day, yet the most significant moments,
the biggest moments,
I'm there for.
Yeah.
So I feel like so close to all my clients because of it, because it's like such a, I don't know, it's such an honor, and I feel like that word is like I always say that, but it is such truly such an honor.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I don't know, it's special. It's a special job.
Yeah, it really is.
It's not a doctor, but it's but it's a special job. I'm not saving lives.
Why do you have to belittle it?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, obviously, well, okay, whatever. Anyways, I'll just leave it at that. But I'm just saying, like, it's still such a special job.
Yeah.
End of sentence.
Period. Wedding photography is so special. Okay, so that was a good tangent. Thank you. I want to do some life updates because I haven't seen you in a bit, and I feel like I have some stories for you.
Oh, okay. I'm excited to hear.
But also, I want to hear your life update as well.
Okay.
Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
I can go first.
Okay.
Oh, I feel like I was talking. I'll let you talk.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. It's your podcast, so I guess I should let you talk.
No, I told you you are co-hosting. Just so everyone is clear, Chloe is not a guest right now. Chloe is co-hosting. Official co-host. I just knew we were going to have a good time together, and I've been listening to Brooke and Connor make a podcast. Have you listened to that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's fucking hilarious. I've been listening to them literally nonstop, and I'm just like, dude, it would just be so nice to have a co-host.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like I have the best conversations with you. You know this.
Facts on facts.
And also, you are the only person that makes me genuinely emotional and, like, really feel my feels.
I love that. It's
so,
because of Pisces.
Is that why?
Well, Pisces are very emotional.
I don't know anything about horoscopes. Okay, should I do my update?
Yes, do your update.
Okay, so when is this podcast coming out, actually? Because I want to give everyone the, like, update of what is actually about to happen in real life when the podcast comes out. So it'll be,
14th?
It'll be the 14th?
Yeah.
Oh, it's coming out next week. This is so exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will have just got home from Sedona, and we're going to San Francisco.
Yep.
Oh, this is perfect timing.
This is perfect timing. We'll be literally leaving to San Francisco, like,
Yes, like in a
couple days after this airs.
Okay, so Chloe and I are going to San Francisco. She is letting me second shoot for her a travel wedding. I'm so excited. And we have a guest star on our adventure.
Yes. Shout out
Wyatt.
Who is my husband, who has been such a good help throughout this.
Chloe's a special girl.
She's special because of the people around her.
I'm saying you're special.
I'm saying that you're special because I feel like I'm surrounded by, like, such good friends and such a good husband that, like,
you're getting very serious, and I was making fun of you. Why are you like?
I'm gonna get emotional.
You're so pregnant right now. It's crazy, dude.
Okay, continue.
Okay. Anyways, so Wyatt's coming with us, which is gonna be really fun. I'm excited to hang out with Wyatt because I feel like we're just gonna bug the shit out of him.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah.
But anyways, so San Fran is coming up. I just got home from Sedona. I'm officially 27, in my late 20s. Fuck that.
3 years older than 30.
Oh my god, don't say stuff like that.
That's how my brain works.
No.
And then 10 years later, you're 40.
Okay.
And then you double that to
Why
80.
don't you stop?
It's how I think.
Oh!
I wish I could be permanently
Okay,
stopped.
honestly though, I'm really praying that like 30, I like peak when I'm 30. Right now, I feel like I peaked in high school. So so skinny in high school.
Oh my
And, when you get married and it's just like a normal thing to gain weight when you get married? Isn't that a thing?
Well, I think
It's a
like
thing.
happy.
It's
weight,
like freshman 15.
You're happy. That's why.
It's my comfort.
Hopefully. I feel like it's more of a concern if maybe like, not that if you don't gain weight, but I feel like when you're in a relationship, I've been told like, if you gain weight, that's because you're so happy. And you're just like eating a lot.
Yeah.
Because you're happy.
Okay, yes, I'm going to say that is absolutely correct. And that is why. Yep. Yes, it is. Anyways, I'm hoping 30 is like my peaking age. But even once I hit 30, then maybe I feel like Eric is going to peak when he hits like 55. Like I feel like he's going to be a super hot dad.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll peak.
He's going to be surfing.
Yeah, I know. He's going to
At
be
55.
Yeah, he is.
So fun.
Anyways, what was I talking about? My life updates?
Yes.
Okay. So, do you like spooky stories?
Like scary stuff?
Just a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a spooky story for you. Okay. So, I went up north to shoot a wedding, and I stayed at Leah's parents' house in Placerville, which is also known as Hangtown, USA, because it's like one of the first cities that was like founded in California. Like the city where they found gold for the first time is like 20 or 30 minutes away from
I'm
not at Disneyland. Placerville. So anyways, old city. And she was telling me when we were like out walking around on the little like main street, she was telling me about her family friends' experiences with like ghosts and stuff in the town. So that was already a little bit in the back of my mind.
Uh-huh.
And I'm very much like, I am super like have the door closed to like any kind of spiritual things happening in real life where I can like see or witness something. I'm like, no, like that is not for me. Lord, cover my eyes. I don't want to see it. But I'm very, like, I'm a spiritual person, so I'm very much aware of, like, there is a spiritual world, like, we are spiritual beings.
Yeah.
So, anyways, contemplating all of that, this is just context for you. So, it's literally Halloween Eve, and I am sleeping downstairs with Leah. Leah's in another bedroom, like, right next to me. And I wake up at midnight on the dot, so Halloween on the dot, and hear my name called. And I was like, yo, what? I was so spooked. And I like rolled over and I texted Leah and I was like, did you just yell my name? And she didn't respond. And I was like, what the hell? And also, very luckily, I had just gotten a new, well, I guess this is unlucky. I don't know. You can look at it how you want to look at it. But I got a new wedding band, and I wasn't wearing my like engagement ring at all. I was just wearing this band. And when I woke up in the morning, it was nowhere to be found. Like, I fully remember, so we went in the jacuzzi that night, and I remember I had all my rings on because they were bothering me, and I was like fidgeting with them. But specifically did not touch the one on my ring finger because I was like, I don't even want to like mess with it. But I remembered my rings were bugging me. So I get out of the jacuzzi, I take only this ring and my one that was on my pointer finger off because I never take off the one on my ring finger.
Yeah.
And I freaking woke up after hearing my name called in the middle of the night, and my band is gone. Cannot find it anywhere. If I would have taken it off, it fully would have been next to my other rings in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So I was like, I wasn't even thinking like there was a ghost tormenting me last night. Was not thinking that at all. And I even like I asked Leah in the morning, I was like, did you call my name? It was very clearly Kari.
But you don't remember the voice, like what? Like you couldn't match it to anybody that you know.
I mean, it sounded like a woman's voice, but it wasn't like specifically like should have been Leah. I don't know. So I asked her, and she's like, "No, I didn't call your name, but like Indy was snoring, her dog,
You think this was an indie?
So I'm like, I don't think Indy said my name. But she's like, I might have said Indy, but Indy and Kari don't sound the same.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping balls.
Were you were already asleep, right?
I was already asleep and just like woke up to hearing my name called. So strange. And then, so I'm driving. Halloween, I drove her to the airport, and then I drove from Placerville to Mammoth. And it was Halloween, so I'm like, I'm gonna listen to something spooky.
Bad idea. Bad idea.
So I put Morbid, the podcast, on, and they had you should do ASMR. Nice. So I put Morbid on, and it's literally, they have like a real life exorcist on the show. And it was super interesting. It was like very interesting. It wasn't like, the way she was talking about it was not like terrifying by any means, but she fully says around Halloween, people will experience like their name being called in the middle of the night and things going missing. Literally said those exact things, those two things specifically, after it had happened. And I listened to that after it happened, so there's no way
So
it would have been in my mind to like have like just like conjure that up.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm convinced a ghost stole my wedding band that I got for $30 off Amazon.
I'm sorry.
Halloween.
No, you lost your new wedding band. But I feel
I
like...
just ordered another one, so it's fine.
so no problem.
It's not a big deal.
But
This is why I was lucky that I wasn't wearing this one,
yeah,
because if it was this one, that would have sucked ass.
it always makes me question, like, if all that, okay, so if we go with the storyline that, okay, a ghost actually stole your ring, called your name out and all that, was this ghost a relative? Did they need the ring for something? Like, what significance does it hold?
Think of these things.
And I would so look into, like, what significance does a ring being stolen mean by a ghost?
Maybe I should go see a medium.
Maybe you should go see a medium, because I don't know, like, or like something from like a past life, like.
Oh, I was just hearing stories about this today. Do you follow Becca?
No.
Okay,
Becca who?
Becca Martinez.
No. Oh, yes, I do follow her. Yeah.
Okay, she was posting today about her son Frank saying something about like, that just sounded like, okay, how would you know to say something like that? Like indicating that there's like
Kids
reincarnation. And that she was like posting all about that. I'm like, that is so crazy.
Yeah.
Do you have any experience with that? Or were you just saying that that's...
No. I was just saying, like, that's
I
where my
should look
mind
into
would
it.
go. Like, I would want to know the significance of that. Just because I look up sometimes, like, if you have a dream about certain things, like, what does that mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, dreaming about, like, I think it was, like, elephants or something like that. Like, what does the significance of that mean? I don't want to say something stupid. I'd rather just, like, look it up so I could, like, tell you.
Hey, Jay,
But
can you look it up?
I'm looking up ghost stealing wedding ring suspicion.
Dude.
Oh, see? But I feel like it was something like gentle or big is like it's like the point is that all these things like have
There's like a
meanings,
thing to it.
and they might be written by people who were written. They might be,
You know?
because I feel like I don't know. So yeah, I would be curious to find out your situation.
Do you have
There-
information for us, AJ?
I don't
Do you
have.
want the mic?
No, that you I guess pointed towards it. It just says that there are other people that deal with ghosts stealing their wedding rings.
Dun dun dun.
There's a bunch of different threads of ghosts stealing wedding rings.
Really?
Yeah.
See, maybe it was like an ex-lover or something.
But then there's also a lot of stuff on dreams about wedding rings getting stolen or losing them.
Oh my gosh.
And the dreams
Am I gonna get a divorce?
the
No.
the
I
dreams
already ordered another one.
it's just like marital loss, problems, breakup, separation, divorce.
You're You are so
After
far.
we were just talking about how happy I am in my marriage because I'm fat. Just kidding, I shouldn't say that.
Kari.
I'm not fat. That's not a nice word to use, and I apologize for using that word. Anyways. That's wild.
But that's really interesting.
I know. Well, maybe it's because my ex-boyfriend just got married. That happened over the weekend. Not that that's like a huge loss, but it's like kind of a funny coincidence. I don't know.
It's really interesting. And very niche.
Very niche. Yeah, what are we talking about on this podcast? Anyways, I had questions about photo stuff that I want to talk to you about because, okay, this is, I'm going to get into what we're going to talk
Am I doing an update?
Yes, you should give it.
Do you still want me to
Okay,
do that?
wait, I didn't really finish my.
Oh yeah, please finish.
So that happened, and I went to Mammoth. Did you see the deer that I got a photo of?
Yes, I saw it and I was thinking like this needs to be posted, or people should be able to buy this.
Nat Geo.
People should be able to buy this and then get it printed.
Dude,
It was so
Thank
good.
you.
You did so good.
I seriously was freaking out. Like, I did that. Should I tell you the whole story?
Yes,
Because
I would love to hear.
I felt like my father was truly like coming through me.
And it was right after you got the duck
Like-
tag on you.
Yes, no, they don't know about that.
Oh,
Well, I don't think they're
listening.
listening.
But if you are,
my mother knows that I got tattoos. Billy doesn't listen to this. She'll probably just tell him and be like, "Oh, Kari got so many fucking tattoos." I'm just like freaked the fuck
and you know
out.
what you should say?
What should I say?
My body, my choice, Dad.
That's exactly what you should say. You would have an aneurysm.
Oh my god.
You're so right though.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
So hot here.
Okay, anyways. So, this deer, I had just finished my mini shoots and I was taking a photo. I had like changed my lens, put the like long lens on because I wanted a sick photo of the mountains, and it was like all the mountains were turning like pink and purple and it was so pretty. So I go like pull over and I'm taking a photo and I look and I see something moving out of the corner of my eye and I'm like, holy shit, there's a deer. And I like got all excited, and then like as I'm staring at them, I'm seeing like more and more deer come over this little ridge, and they're all like starting to walk towards me. And then, excuse me, I burped. It happened, and then it came out again. Okay, so I'm seeing all these deer walking over and they're like starting to walk towards me, and then I fully felt the wind change, and then all of their little ears perk up and they look right at me. And I'm like, oh, they can see me, they're gonna run away. So, using my brain, I get back in my car and I drive around because there's a road that's right behind the little ridge they just came over. So I go drive around and I'm like, I'm gonna scare them further the other direction. So I'm like right behind them. So I get out, I'm making a bunch of noise, I'm like slamming my car doors and like stomping around a little bit, and I fully cannot see them, so I'm just like, this is like, I'm crossing my fingers this works at this point. So, and I didn't even know, like fully had not seen the buck yet. And then I just go back and I go up that same road that I was just on. And I'm like, shit, I can't see them anywhere. I was so bummed. And I drove like a pretty far ways up it to like see if they might have like crossed the road too. And they were like further than I thought. And then I start coming back, and as I'm like basically giving up, the buck literally just pops up. He's right above me. And I'm like, just like starstruck. I'm like, holy shit, this deer is so sick. He was so huge. And I like had my camera, I'd left it right next to me in the passenger seat. And I'm like trying to like slowly creep up on him while I'm like holding the camera, and my arms all like shaky because it's the 85 lens and I can't barely hold it up.
Yeah.
It's so fucking heavy. But I got it, dude. I got the shot.
Right place, right time.
Yeah, literally. I was
It was
so
it's
stoked.
truly so beautiful.
and then I couldn't wipe the smile off my face for the.
I know you texted me like right away, and I was like, I think I was shooting a wedding, but I was like,
Sorry.
oh my god, no, I was like, oh my god, these are so freaking sick, and I'm like, I can't wait to see it, but yeah,
I'll get a print.
beautiful.
Merry
Aw,
Christmas.
I will buy one from you. I will support you.
Thanks, man. I feel like those were the highlights. That was like the low light and the highlight of my trip.
Pretty, I love it. Pretty big highlight.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I feel like you thrive in it.
Yeah, I really.
Like,
I come home with this hat.
yeah, I just know that when
And
you
I'm
were
still
there,
wearing my Carhartt vest as if it's 50 outside and it's been 73 all day today.
but I'm not allowing you to move there, so that's not happening. Not on my watch.
I mean, neither is Eric, so
Good.
you guys are in the same boat.
Yeah, he needs the beach,
He
and I
does.
need you.
So, as much as I would thrive there, I don't think I would be very happy away from everyone. I mean, there is a really cool community in Mammoth, which I'm like very blessed that Jackie has like really shared with me.
Yeah.
So it's nice that I can go out there and like make friends and hang out with people, but it's not the same as being home.
No place like home.
No place like home. Okay, what else? Update from you.
My life updates.
Yeah. Maybe you tell me about your recent wedding experience in brief.
Yeah. So I had a wedding this weekend, and I'm 7 months pregnant, and I feel like it's getting rough a little bit. To all my clients watching, with your upcoming weddings, you're fine because I have lots of help. But it's things like I kneeled down in the aisle to get a shot, which I will literally do anything to get the shot. I don't care what stage I'm in. But I kneeled back down. I kneeled down to get the shot, and I couldn't get back up. And thank goodness, shout out Ernie, the wedding videographer, he was there, and he was just like right there when I needed to get back up. Like he fully like helped me up in the middle of the aisle. And I truly don't know how. I mean, probably one way or another I would have gone up, but I attempted and I couldn't. So I was like, okay, I'll just stay down. Just a little longer. I'll just stay down here. But this weekend's wedding was 9 hours too, and 9 hours on your feet, 7 months pregnant, and I'm unfortunately having a high risk pregnancy, so that kind of sucks too. But it just makes things a lot harder, I think, and excuse me. It was kind of like go the entire day. With I think we maybe sat down for 20 minutes.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm dead serious.
You just get like a normal dinner break?
No, we got like 20, 25 minutes, yeah. But yeah, the experience wasn't great as far as like other vendors. I kind of had like a hard time. It was just hard because I think there was like a lot of miscommunication with like between the planner and myself, which has never happened to me so far. But I also think like just in life, the more you do something, the more things are gonna come up. Like the more things you're gonna experience. Like even in any line of work, I think that just kind of happens. So I kind of, at this wedding specifically, I was kind of feeling like the planner was trying to tell me how to do my job as if I wasn't doing a good job or things like that, and it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit because I just never had that experience, and I'm not the best at like standing up for myself. But it came to a point where I kind of felt like I needed to say something. I was like, I need to stand up for myself and say something, and I was also like majorly channeling you because I knew for a fact that if you were there, you would say something at that point. So after being told like this, and that, and kind of just getting a few snarky comments, I kind of just respectfully said like, please let me do my job. Like, I know what I'm doing, and
You go, Chloe.
and
I'm so proud of you.
thank you. But I just think like it's just inevitable. Situations like that are inevitable, and I think you have to know how to handle them in a professional way and not let myself get emotional about it because it's not about me. Like the whole day is not about me, and it's not about the planner.
And
It's
it's
not-
probably not even anything personal either.
Absolutely
Like,
not.
it is
Mhm.
probably just that person and their own issues.
Totally.
that are being projected onto you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But I think it's one of those things that you like learn from. And I always like to look at situations like that in personal life and friendships.
I feel like we've had a lot of those.
Yeah, a lot of those. Yeah, and they happen and you learn from them. Or I'll call you and be like, hey, like, how do I handle this?
Yeah.
And which I can now, like, that kind of points me into, like, the thing that I wanted to say was that it's so nice having you, because I can't tell you how many times I've, like, sent you something that I'm about to send to someone, an email. I'm like, does this sound good? Like, how do I kind of address the situation? How do I handle this? And you're always there to assure me or, like, steer me in the direction that I feel like is best. So, yeah, I just love you.
I'm literally so happy to be that person too. Like, I feel like this is what the episode's about. Here we are.
This is truly why we're here today.
We are here today to talk about friendship and business and freaking being the most anti-gatekeeping humans.
Yes.
And how it truly benefits your business to have a person to hold you accountable, encourage you when you're like, I've been staring at this gallery for like 3 hours now and I fucking hate it. Can you please tell me if I need to do something differently? And then we do that and we're like, no, idiot, it looks perfect.
Yeah.
It's
Every
incredible.
time. Every time. And I also...
It is your best work yet.
And it's funny because some people might hear that and say, well, of course she, like, wouldn't tell her. But if you know Kari would tell me. Kari would tell me if it was shit. And I just think, like, you look at something for so long.
Yeah.
And you start overthinking everything about it.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you're a little bit worse about stuff like that.
And I feel like I'm such a perfectionist, to a fault. And I don't mean that in,
this is my biggest weakness and my biggest strength.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about, like, in terms of that. It's like, I genuinely just feel like the expectation I have for myself is so unrealistic. And I've always been like, even with, like, just other things in life, I've kind of been that way. So it's no different with my work, and I just want it to be perfect, and that just doesn't exist, and it shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And yet I fully know that, and my expectation is still
that's
that.
art. Art is...
I have to pee. I'm so
we're taking a quick
The
intermission.
pregnant lady has to pee.
We're back after the quick pee break because Chloe's super pregnant.
And it's pushing my bladder.
For real.
Constantly.
Dude, I will never, until I'm pregnant, I will never understand.
Yeah. Like, there was one time I was fully laying in bed, ready to go. I just went pee. So I lay it down, ready to go to sleep, right? Fully kicked in the bladder. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm getting up again. And then I was able to go to sleep after that. But yeah, it's really interesting. I'm excited for you to experience
Turn
that.
that phone off. Okay, so what I wanted to go back to is especially the mindset with when you quit and, like, went full-time with weddings.
Oh.
Or maybe this would make more sense for you, just starting to do weddings in general and, like, the mental hurdles that you had to kind of get through with that.
Yeah, so let me, I guess, piggyback off of, like, what I kind of said earlier in the podcast. Like, I wasn't working anymore as a hostess, I was working as a server, but I was doing photography, and I feel like I was making enough to where I could call it part-time. It was going okay, but I kind of felt like 1 month I was making, like, really good money, and then the next month it's like, okay, I have maybe 4 shoots, and I'm like, this is not stable enough for me. And it kind of gave me anxiety, like, this idea of, I don't know when I'm gonna make that money again. Like, it was not guaranteed, because it was only grad shoots and engagement sessions. It wasn't like weddings are, where I already know my income for 2024, for the most part, right? Because people are booking, like, a year in advance. So I got a job at Aloe Yoga at Fashion Island. I literally could talk so much about that job. It was very interesting. It's the most, like, cliquey retail store ever. And
I was watching Lulu. It was probably the same.
No, Lulu. I worked for Lulu too, actually.
Not the same.
No, Lululemon was the best experience ever.
Really?
Oh my gosh, such a good experience at Lululemon. I loved working there. I honestly still keep in touch with some of the people that I worked with, and I worked there in 2016. I was a freshman in college.
Damn. All right.
So I loved Lululemon. And they truly, they just like, the main difference is that Aloe really cared about your commission, how much money you were bringing in. Lulu did not care at all. They were like, you're not here to be a salesman. Literally, like, we want people to come in and genuinely buy the product. If so-and-so comes in and doesn't really want it, don't feel like you have to force it on them. Just talk about why you like it. So it was a lot more laid back versus Aloe was
Super
like,
mellow.
this is our number today, like, you have to hit the number, like, whatever. So, I was working there, and I started working there in September, and I was, like I said, I was kind of busy one month, not so busy the next month. I told the manager up front, like, I'm doing photography on the side, and so sometimes I might need to request, like, certain things off, but luckily I was booking maybe, like, a month out. So I was able to give her my schedule like a month out, and I'd be like, this day I already have a shoot, so I can't work that day, and that's kind of how we were going about it. So I was doing that for a while, and I was doing engagements, maternity, family. Those were kind of like the main things that I was doing. It got busy in November because like all the family shoots and Christmas stuff, and then all the fall grads I would get, which wasn't that many. I think I was just booking a few. And then come January, I started booking a bunch of grad shoots for March and April. Like, a bunch. Like, I'm talking, I was booked Monday through Sunday, sometimes multiple a day.
You're so crazy. Like, why you would even say yes to doing that?
That's because I can't say no to
That's
ever.
a whole other.
That's a whole other tangent.
We'll get there.
But I think I was just excited. Like, I was like, I can't believe all these people want me to take their photos. So, like, how do I
that
say
is
no?
really cool, especially when you're first starting.
Yeah, like,
It's
how
so
do I
hard
say
to say
no? And who am I to say no to however much I was, like, asking for at the time to a grad shoot when, like, this is what I want to do. And I think at that time, I was still very much thinking that I was going to, like, the goal that I had was, like, I want to go into fashion photography, and I want to be on the cover of Vogue one day. And, like, these were truly, like, the things that I was, like, thinking of doing. Like, I really was into, like, just street stuff, and, like, in LA, that sort of, like, photography lifestyle, like, doing things like that. And I was even doing some, like, portraits of, like, models and, like, influencers, a couple, like, just smaller ones, at the time. And I just kind of felt like, okay, like, I like to do it, but I don't know how much I'm into this, like, super overly posy idea. That's exactly what grad shoots are. That's kind of, family photos are like that to a certain extent. You can always have fun with them, but I feel like there's always, like, the shot that people
They want
normally
the family shot.
They want the family shot that, like, Grandma Susie wants the photos of all the kids smiling on her wall, which is totally, like, it's beautiful. My grandma loves that stuff. Same with my mom. Like, my mom on my wedding day, she's like, are we gonna get any with you? It's like, the camera. And so anyway, so I was doing that, and then I think that year I ended up booking, I don't want to exaggerate, like 160 grad shoots.
Do that.
Yeah. I wish I would have brought my calendar, because I think that calendar, it was like, why it would, like, look like, okay, what day I have free that week, and it's like, you have a Sunday off, like, in 3 weeks, one Sunday, and then you're back on Monday, and then that, and I truly was working every single day, and you're like, and I just kind of feel like it was a lot, but I was enjoying it, and I was like, I can't believe I get to do this every day, like, how cool is that? And then I was like, okay, well, I'm making this amount of money, and I'm working this amount. I don't really know what the next steps are here, because I kind of felt like if I don't know anybody, like someone big in LA that could get me a connection to where I could get into, like, working for a magazine or something like that, then I'm kind of screwed, because I think, like, with any industry that you go into, and I remember back in college how much they emphasize, like, connections, like, making connections, even if it's through an internship, or if it's through, you know, a friend of a friend or a family friend. It's like, that's kind of how it helps for you to make it. And I don't know, it seems so unattainable to me. to ever do it full time. So, and then obviously in the back of my head, Kari over here is like, Klaui, you should do weddings. And I'm like, I don't know. And I feel like that answers your question. Like, you wanted to know, like, kind of what were my like, why I was, like, hesitating, right?
Yeah.
I just, one was, like, a lot of the pressure that I said, like, how many things could go wrong. Two, I think just this expectation that I have of myself that if my photos right off the bat didn't look like, I don't know, a photographer that's been doing it for 20 years, like, if I can't achieve that with the best camera and the best lens, then it's not good enough. Like, and I know that's
just such bullshit.
It's such bullshit. Like, and knowing now especially, like, it's the whole thing's stupid. Like, you don't need the nicest camera, you don't need the nicest lenses to get good photos. But my inexperienced, like, and I guess like lack of knowledge at the time, that's what I thought what I needed to succeed. Like, I fully remember having conversations with my like, well, I can't do it unless I like get that camera that's like $5,000. There's no way that I can like get into it without it because it's not going to be good. It's not going to be sharp if you like zoom in this much. So I remember, and then I was graduating college too, and so my now father-in-law so kindly bought me the Sony A7R4, which is like a phenomenal camera. I think it has like one of the highest megapixels that like any camera ever has. And I was like, now I'll be successful. Like, now I'll make it.
No.
True.
Wrong.
Not true. Like, just because you have that doesn't mean that you're gonna be successful. But in my head, like, that's what I thought I needed. So I was like, okay, now I can take this seriously. Like, now I'll have a career in photography. But obviously there was a lot more to that. So anyways, I obviously didn't make it, and months go by, and I'm still doing grad shoots. Then kind of April comes around, and during that time is when I quit Aloe.
Okay.
Because I was like, I needed mornings off and afternoons off. And the manager's like, well, everybody has to work like at least one opening shift in the mornings. Or like, and you have to work at least like one shift at night. Or
you're like, I literally
and I was like,
can't because
honestly,
my schedule's full of shoots all day long.
And I was like, ma'am,
You're wild.
it's $14 an hour or whatever you were paying me. I am not saying yes to that, working 8 hours when I could go, and I think I was charging like $200 for grad shoots at the
You're
time.
doing 2 every day.
And I was doing 2. I was also doing like sometimes some grads would book like 10 people, and I would charge like X amount per person.
Shoots.
So it'd be like X amount per person, and I'm like, okay, so that's like $200 in the morning, and then this group shoot for like $350. I'm like, that's $500. Maybe I'll make that all week at Aloe.
Yeah.
So
real.
the logic, and obviously like I wasn't accounting. I mean, I wasn't like calculating the time in that I was working post editing. I'm just talking about that like physical hour itself.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot more work behind the scenes that clients don't see that we put in. But yeah, and so I was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna register my business. I'm gonna get my business license, and I think I'm just gonna go for it. And I think I was still worried, like, well, what about 3 months from now? Like, I don't have any bookings in July. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna make this, but I kind of thought, like, okay, worst case scenario, like absolute worst case scenario, I go full time, and I'm busy because I know I'm busy for the next like month and a half or 2. If things go south and I just completely like stop booking things, I will go get another job because I will make sure that I find at least one job to do. And I was like, if that's going back to Lululemon, if that's going back to Aloe, I kind of left on really good terms with like all of those things, and I felt like, okay, maybe I'll go back to Lululemon and do that part time and continue doing this part time and kind of see where it goes.
But then you didn't have to do that.
But then I didn't have to do that because you were shooting for Val. Which I vow. I love you. But basically, I I think I asked her, I don't know if you were like, you should come. I can't remember how it went down. Like if it was something that like, you were like, you should just come and kind of see, or if it was like.
I think you asked me, and I was
asked
like,
you,
oh,
okay.
I'll for sure ask.
Oh, okay. I honestly genuinely can't remember, but
You didn't ask me specifically if you could like third shoot, but you were just like, I want to like second shoot or like assist or something.
and
see how it goes.
Yeah.
And yeah, when was that?
That was 2 years ago. Or long. Yeah.
Maybe it was the middle of October.
No. It was a summer wedding. It was like June because I had just gotten my sewing in.
Okay, so it was like a year and a half.
Yeah. And I want to emphasize. So what I wanted to say about this was like, I had done weddings that were more like a ceremony and a dinner type. I had done quite a few. I think I did like maybe 4 or 5 of those, but they weren't. And by no means do I think that they were like a wedding.
Yeah.
Not to discount that that's like
No,
not
yeah,
a wedding,
but
it's
it's
different. But it's not the timeline of a wedding.
yeah.
It's not the
It's
hours
totally
of a wedding. So it's very different, and I
It's
really
like a micro wedding.
yeah. And all I'm really doing is showing up and taking photos. I
Or like a
Nothing
rehearsal
else.
dinner.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like shooting a rehearsal dinner.
Yeah. It was kind of like that. And I kind of liked doing it, but it was like, I don't know. I just
It didn't feel real.
It didn't feel real, and it just kind of felt like I'm trying
Did
to.
you have any like portrait time? Or
No.
was it? No.
No.
It was just documenting the event.
Yeah. I think I did
Yeah,
some
that's
like
so
detail
different.
shots of like the rings and the hands. I don't even know why people trusted me to do that, but it was all kind of people who knew me, and like they were like, Chloe takes good photos. It's probably not super expensive because it's not a wedding photographer. And yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So then I go with you guys because Val so kindly let me third shoot.
Yeah.
And it was at Green Gables.
Yes.
And
Beautiful venue in Marlboro, San Marcos.
yes, San Marcos. Yeah. And I was like, oh my god, this is so fun.
It was also just like so fun.
It was just so fun.
Like the 3 of us. That was also
Yeah.
like the first time you and Val really
yeah.
talked. And I
It was the first time I ever
remember-
met her.
Oh really?
I
You
had never met her
before?
before. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, wild.
So I can't even believe that she like let me come. First of all,
That's just Valerie.
I know. There's no one like her.
And then
But-
I remember sitting at dinner and you guys bonding over like you being Hungarian.
Yeah.
And, like being
Just like not being. I mean, being outside of the U.S.
Yeah.
The culture. Like,
yeah.
Things like that. But I just.
It was special. for
Everything
me to
changed.
witness.
Everything changed that day, truly. Like after I shot that wedding, and so yeah, I started posting that I'm doing weddings, and what's so crazy is that from the moment, so I went full time in April, after doing photography for like I would say like I was doing 3 years of that of other stuff, and then I go full time in April. I third shoot in June, and by November I'm fully booked for the following year.
Crazy.
And I'm just like,
See? And I was like, I told you.
Yeah,
I told you, bitch.
and Carrie's like, see, like, yeah, exactly, like you were so right. And I was kind of like, I remember talking
Because
to
you're
other,
so good. That's how good you are.
I was talking to other photographers, and they
You're
were
an
like,
artiste.
they were just like, how is that possible? And I don't know.
Well, I feel like you had built a pretty good following already before you even dipped your toe into weddings.
I have like 1,000 followers.
Yeah. That's so solid.
Yeah.
So you had like all these people that now are like, oh, we've worked with her before.
Mhm.
We know this person that's getting married, or we are these people that are getting married.
Yeah.
So you had like the clientele built,
Yeah.
like that network or community.
And I feel like I had all those people like who graduated like 3-4 years ago that I
Mhm.
did their grad shoots, and
Yeah, and now they're all in
they're all kind of in that
relationships.
getting engaged or having babies, and I feel like that truly helped me get into it too, and yeah, like you said, like the people that knew me and trusted me, they were like, they see my photos and they're like, oh, we really like it. Yeah, and I'm so grateful for all those people that trusted me to come to their weddings, even though it was like so early on. But I kind of felt like after I had shot third shot with Alec, I was just like, I think I can do this. Like, I'll try.
So that, like, being there in person and actually going through a full wedding day and shooting is what you feel like gave you, like, the confidence to be
Yeah.
like, I can do this solo.
Yeah, and not to mention that, like, I really was so happy with how my photos turned out. Like,
Yeah.
till today,
Yeah, literally.
that wedding is like, I use it for my cover photo and like my business. It's on my business card, and it was literally like the very first real wedding that I shot.
Yeah.
And even the other day, I took a photo at a wedding a couple weeks ago, and I was like this close to changing my cover photo, and I sent it to Kari, and I'm like, Kari, is this the photo that's gonna change the cover photo that's been my cover photo from the very first wedding that I shot, I should say third shot. And Kari was like, honestly, like, I love both, but like, there's just something about that photo, and there truly is something about that photo.
See, I'm honest with her,
Yeah,
guys. I'm not just gonna hype her up for no reason.
Yeah. Yes, I love you for that. That's why I always know that I can go to you for everything, because you'll just give it to me straight.
Yeah.
In a gentle way. I feel like you're gentle with me though, because you know that any minute I'll cry.
She can crash.
She can crack. But yeah, and I just fell in love with it, honestly. Like, I think it was like love at first sight
Yeah.
in weddings.
Yeah.
And then from then on, I feel like this whole, not fake it till you make it idea, but I was like, listen, like, I know what I'm doing.
Listen
I'm
to them.
really good with like, I've been holding a camera in my hand since like I was like in third grade, constantly shooting film, shooting digital. I know how to develop my own photos. I took a million film classes. Not that you need those to know everything, but
I fully didn't.
and I feel like
But I do want to talk about film, actually.
but I feel like most people in the industry who I've spoken to, like, didn't do all that. But I just kind of felt like a person who was always like really, like, what's the word, like, studious. In my head, I was like, okay, well, I took all these classes, like, I'm fine, you know.
Like Eric. Like, you want to, like, master the
Everything.
things that you
Yeah.
are interested in.
Yeah,
You want to, like, learn all about them.
yeah. And I took film in high school. I took film in college. I went to UCLA for like what is it?
Semester?
Quarters. Yes, they're on a quarterly. In the creative side, and I took a photography class. I took 2 photography classes from Baz. He's actually a really, really good professor. If you guys are
At
UCLA, Baz.
I'm
He's
a
also a
Trojans
photographer.
fan, so.
Sorry. But yeah, I kind of felt like I don't know, I was like confident enough that it let me do it, but then obviously like imposter syndrome kicks in and
Yeah.
your insecurities kick in, you're hard on yourself, or at least I am.
And that's why we need friends.
That's why we need friends. But I do think that a lot of times it is my is that
She's so
bad?
distracted.
Or are you just letting us
I
know?
was just like-
Do we have a time limit? Oh, okay, sorry, I had no idea. Okay, sorry.
He's done it already twice.
Oh.
AJ gives us the little, like, heads up when we hit an hour. And it
This
just
is
really
Chloe's
threw.
First
Chloe
time
for a
on
little-
podcast, she doesn't know anything about it.
Sorry, I should have warned you.
No, it's okay.
It's okay, because this is great, because we're just going to turn this into, like, 4 episodes now, because we've been talking for so long. I'm so sorry. And I haven't looked at all the things that I wanted to talk to you about.
This is the problem when Kari and I get together, is that we just, like, this is how we hop on our FaceTime calls, too.
Do you see this?
You guys see that? And where are we? Are we on point 2?
We're not even on point 1 yet. Not even on point 1. It's been an hour.
Oh my god.
Okay, but that's fine, because this is really the beef of what I wanted to talk about,
Okay.
so we can save all the other stuff for completely different episodes.
Okay. If you'll have me on here again.
Hell yeah, I will. Dude, you are literally the best person to talk to. I've told you this so many times.
I don't even know what I was saying, but I just kind of felt like sometimes when you are, I'm not super happy about how hard I am on myself, but I do think that it is the thing that drives me to never, like, I don't know, to always try to show up and be my best,
Yeah.
and do my best, and
Oh
like,
yeah. Well, that's what you said on the phone when we were talking about the podcast
Mhm.
and what we were going to talk about. Chloe said just something along the lines of, like, always trying to, like, outdo
Yeah.
your past weddings. And I am not like that at all.
Yeah.
But I think that you being like that is what makes you, like, you keep getting better. Like, and you're very intentional about how you're growing in your art and, like, photography as, like, a skill and your craft.
Yeah.
You know, like, so I feel like I want to hear you talk about that more because I feel like I have a lot to learn.
But no, well, what I also kind of mean when I say that, like, by outdoing the weddings that I did before is, like, what could I have done better?
Yeah.
As far as, like the
reflecting.
timeline or like
I feel
utilizing.
like I don't reflect very much. I just kind of get through it, and I'm like, okay, whew, I did it. I did it, guys. I made it out alive. But you're, like, actually genuinely reflecting on stuff because...
Yeah, this is what I think about before I go to bed. I'm like, okay, so I feel like I had enough time this time for detail shots, but I really think that next time I need to add some or like whatever.
I guess I kind of do that.
Yeah, I think it's.
I just don't do it in such an intentional way.
No, I just think you don't talk about it as dramatically as I do. I think that's the difference. Is that you just kind of keep it in.
I just take
I
take the mental note and move on.
Yeah, and I just feel like I just want to not be the best because I know that that's like impossible, but I want to be the best version that I can be of myself, if that makes sense. As a photographer, like I want to be the best Kate. Like I want Klaui Varadi photography to be the best that she can be.
Yeah.
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 So
that's amazing.
But with that comes a lot of anxiety. How is that accent?
And that is definitely something that I don't struggle with at all. So I feel like that's a whole different, like, beast in itself for you to be dealing with.
Yeah, but I'm off anxiety meds for I used to be on. I don't know if I told you this, but I used to be on anxiety meds. I was on buis for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden, which is so funny because I was like, I'm so good. I don't get any anxiety anymore. Let me go off of the anxiety meds. And honestly, I feel like the anxiety that I used to have like 2-3 years ago really like went away. Like now I think, now the way that I look at it is, yes, I'm anxious about certain things, but I'm also a human being and I'm supposed to feel those things. I'm supposed to be nervous sometimes or overthink things sometimes, and I kind of feel like in the past, like a couple of years ago, I would have been like, oh my god, I have a bad feeling in my stomach, like this is really bad, and then I like sit on it, and I think I really learned
let
how
it
to,
like fester.
yeah, and I think I learned how to deal with my anxiety and
oh, that's so cool.
take deep breaths and I
learned how to like manage it.
I didn't want to be on medication forever, but I do know that at the time, I needed to learn that the way that I did and be on it and then go off of it and then kind of just, I don't know. And now I feel like I manage my anxiety pretty well. Obviously there are moments, I think, like any normal human being, like where it's better than other times, but overall I feel like you just, you learn how to handle it.
Yeah. Do you get nervous before weddings?
Honestly, not nervous. Not anymore.
You don't get anxious?
No. I think I get really excited.
Really?
Yeah, and I think I also thrive off of adrenaline. Like, I thrive in situations where things are kind of chaotic and I have to, and I kind of remain calm, because by me remaining calm, I feel like everything else around me will also remain calm.
Yeah, you're kind of setting the tone.
I'm setting the tone. And honestly, it was so sweet. A client of mine, a bride, just texted me, or actually she sent me a card and just said, like, among all the chaos, like I was like her solace. Solace? Oh my god, this is what solace. This is when, like, I'm Hungarian. I was not born and raised in the USA.
Oh, can you tell everyone how you say the spice that we were talking about?
Which spice?
Or herb?
What?
Starts with an O.
Oh.
How do you say that?
Oregano. Because in my language, it's oregano. And it's not oregano. It's not oregano. Or however you American people say
Oh my
it.
god.
Can you make some of the things that I say?
Dude, that was just, I genuinely did not know what you were saying.
I'm like, Kari, and then
I
was telling her
She was
about
giving me a recipe.
this pasta that I made.
Throw some of this oregano in. I'm like, the
I
fuck?
was like, then you see the
Oregano? Oregano? So good.
Oh, also touched my cheek.
Are you burning?
Yeah.
That's cold. That's literally colder than
But
my
it's
hand.
red. I looked
Maybe it's not. Maybe this side. Oh yeah, that one's really hot. Why is that one so hot?
No, I'm not
Sorry.
No.
It's if you don't look at my armpits because I'm very sweating. I'm not. I refuse to take this card.
Well, don't smell my armpit because I'm just kidding.
Okay, wait. There were things literally just in everything that you just said. There were multiple things that I was like, I really want to talk about this, but I feel like we should wrap up with like one specific. What are we at right now?
Like 110.
Okay, maybe two things.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna save the rest for the next episode. Okay. First question was, I wanted to hear you talk about film more.
Okay.
And I had something specifically that I wanted to get your opinion on.
Okay.
So I've been noticing recently that everybody that is like shooting film, I feel like most people in the area that are like shooting film are maybe a little bit film snobby, and I'm just like super not because I just go to Bill's and I love Bill's and I live right next to them. And I'm like, I refuse to go anywhere else because they literally sent me my film back. Literally 14 rolls today. Dropped it off at like 1 p.m. and they sent it back to me like before they closed today.
Yeah.
So I love them. But I've been noticing that a lot of people are like very picky about their
What they
scans.
Yeah.
And I've been hearing about this, like, Rewind specifically. They will do, like, a custom recipe or whatever for your scans. And also, I don't know where you go, where you take your phone. Do you
I go to the photo lab.
Oh, photo lab.
Yeah.
Okay, they're super fast too, right?
Yeah. Like literally, I'll get it same day, a couple hours after.
Okay. Have you heard of these, like, custom recipes or whatever for your film?
Yeah, so basically I've gone to Rewind before and I know like almost all well, by know I mean like when I went there it was because Zach is really good friends with like a bunch of the people at Rewind and Zach was like, go to Rewind.
Oh, okay.
And I love Rewind. If Rewind was closer to me and it wasn't all the way in Orange, I would go there all the time. Like when I went to Chapman, like I don't even know if they were open yet, but then I would do grad shoots at Chapman, and that's where I would drop it off like right after.
Okay.
So what they mean by custom recipes is that when they scan them in, they kind of go in and like edit them a little bit to fit your.
But they're doing
Aesthetic.
that literally just in Lightroom. It's not anything they're doing in the actual scanning of the film.
I have so much to say about this.
This is why I wanted to talk to you about it,
Yeah.
because I asked the guys at Bill's today,
Yeah.
and I was like, would you guys ever do anything like that? And they were like, yeah, we could, but it's literally the same thing you're going to do if you just put it through Lightroom. Like, if you want to edit your film, that's what it is. It's editing your film, so you might as well be shooting digital at that point. And I was like, boom, roasted. That's how I feel. Because I'm like, if you are going to spend all this time paying extra money for your film lab to put a preset
Yeah.
on your film, what is the point of shooting film at that point?
I don't know if it's actually like them doing it through Lightroom or if their machine that they're scanning the images is it so like the way
You can do
let me-
certain things in the machine, I know.
Yeah, let me backtrack. So I remember when I was trying to find different film labs, some people were saying like Pro Photo Connection is the absolute best.
Yeah.
Like go to Pro Photo Connection. I kind of feel like all the photographers,
Boo. We got the boo
Yeah.
from AJ in the back. I will buy all my film from Pro Photo.
say
I will purchase my
Same.
film from them always because they always have that shit stocked.
they're
And they do not
Yeah.
tell you can only have this much film.
no, I go
They're
there
the
and I
best.
buy like 40. when I
Yeah,
go to.
no, love them for that.
I have my
no.
own stack at home because of. I have a full
Should I
drawer.
start buying film off of you?
Yes. I'm like, I'll upcharge you a little bit so I
Yeah.
get money. That's my business. I'm like, but it'll be at my house,
Yeah.
readily available for you.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my full opinion on this. So yeah, like I was saying, I was getting a lot of people a lot of people were telling me to go to Pro Photo Connection. So I go to Pro Photo Connection, and prior to that I was going to the photo lab, and the photo lab has never done me wrong, ever. but I was just like, everybody's saying to go to this pro photo connection place, so like I'm gonna try it. So I go there, and they took like a week and a half.
They take a long time.
They took a long time, and when I spoke to them about it, they were like, yeah, because we actually like take our time with the development and things like that. But you're talking to a girl who fully knows how to develop her own photos, and so I know like the process of everything, and I know for a fact that you are not physically developing these photos. You are scanning them and putting them in a machine, and then scanning them in through a machine, and it's really not all handmade, obviously. So when you are developing your own photos in a lab, you have full control over the darkness of an image, of the way that you kind of want. Even you could put filters as your what liquid you put, whatever. There's like a lot to it. I'm not gonna get into the details.
Wait, I love the science though.
It's really
I
interesting.
want to learn how to do that. That's like my goal is like I would
Yeah.
love to be developing my own film because I just feel like I would level up as a photographer.
Totally. I know I made it in life when I have my own darkroom in my own house. Like that's when I like know. I like one day I have this like if I close my eyes I have this vision of like I took a photo of my kid and I go into my darkroom and I'm like, okay, mom's gonna go like develop some photos of you guys, and they're like
that's so
the
sick.
cutest photos of them. But yeah, so
Just
I
a
think
vision.
it's just a vision and a dream and a hope. But I think when we talk about like this custom thing, if that was the case that these labs were doing, like they were actually like physically developing them and holding them, you know, in the liquid to make a little bit darker text and the shadows, or doing dodging, or like doing all these things, then that is custom to you. But if it's true that some places are just putting it into Lightroom and kind of editing the film, then I feel like I don't know if that's what they're doing. I honestly have never heard that everyone is doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying what the bills
yeah.
were telling me.
So obviously we don't know. I don't know what that means. But I do know that when I have gone to Rewind, I specifically told them like, hey, I noticed that like some of your guys' tones are like cooler than like as far as like cool versus warm, or like cooler toned than like what I'm kind of used to. And they were like, oh yeah, we'll take a look at your Instagram and kind of like match it to that, if that makes sense. And so I didn't really know what that meant, but I just noticed that on their Instagram that it seemed like all their photos were kind of cohesively like cool toned. And my film photos so far, and even when I was developing them, I shoot on Portrait 400, they were always like a little bit warmer, and I didn't really necessarily like the look of whatever. But then I go and I got it developed at Rewind, and I was like, oh my god, these are so beautiful. Like these are like perfect. And I'll show you like which one specifically was the shot.
Show me.
Was the shot that I had gone developed there. I haven't been there in a while, so let me scroll back. But it was one of my favorite shoots that I did for funsies.
Just for fun.
Just for fun.
Good for you.
I had this vision of like my friend, like one of my friend and her boyfriend holding this like vase with like flowers in it.
Oh, wait, wasn't this the girl that was on The Bachelor?
No. What girl was the Bachelor that I know? Oh, Abigail?
Yes.
No, not this. But she was kind of similar, but no. This is my friend
Oh, those
Lucy
are
and her boyfriend
so
Charlie. But
good.
these are all film, and it was developed by Rewind.
Okay, but like the shadows, that show the camera. Can we like
I'll upload
take
it.
a screenshot and send it?
And like,
for the YouTube peeps.
and so this was the vision. She's like holding a cigarette, and he's like holding the. They were just like also the perfect people to do the shoot. But like, okay, look at these colors, like.
Yeah, that's yummy.
And I was just like,
That's yummy film.
oh my goodness.
The
And
flash was so fun.
Yeah.
Were those on your contacts?
no, this was on my 120, and then the 35s that you see were on my
I
Pentax
love
K1000.
this.
Right?
Yeah, I love
She's so cute too.
that.
She
Okay,
likes
sorry,
to know how to.
no one can see it. For all the audio listeners,
Sorry,
scroll back to Chloe's post on, what day is it?
June 3rd, 2022. But yeah, I got it developed there, and I was really happy with it. But yeah, like it's just a little bit far from me. So I go to the photo lab, and when Pro Photo Connection was like, we take a week and a half because we really take our time. I'm like, you are doing the same thing that all the other labs are doing. We're just putting it in a scanner, and like, it's all the same process, so I don't really understand like how it takes like an enough for you, but 3 hours for like 3 other labs around.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing against them, like I don't want to say anything because they do a good job, but I just didn't. I just felt like
Did it throw you off?
no. I'm just a really observant person, if you can't tell.
Well,
like
you
I
missed
will.
the first two.
Oh yeah, but I will notice like everything.
Except the first two.
Except the first two. Anyways, it's like trying to like.
Okay, should
Okay.
we hit one
Yes.
more point?
But yeah, so let me just like. I
Okay,
guess-
yeah, wrap it up.
I just want to say like I think
On the
that
phone.
it's very subjective what lab you like going to, and some people love their labs and they have a really good relationship built with some. And I go into photo lab and they like know exactly. Like it's just so nice when you go there. Like, oh, like how many
Yeah.
weddings did you have this weekend? Like, oh, where
Yeah.
were they? And they like so genuinely care. So
Yeah, that's so sick. That's how I feel about bills.
Yeah.
That's why I am loyal to bills.
exactly.
And if I really genuinely care that much about my scans, and it, like, them saying, like, yeah, there are little things that you can tweak in the scanning process, like, if you want to turn up, like, some contrast or, like, make it a little bit more crisp.
You can do that if you want to.
I
in
would do
Lightroom.
that in Lightroom, and literally everyone that's bragging about having their custom, not to shit talk right now, I'm fully not. Like, if you're doing that, good for you. Like, you're taking the time, you're paying the extra money to have that done for you, and that's what you like, and no shame. Like,
Yeah.
do what you want with your film. But, truthfully, I feel like them keeping it as true as possible to the way that it was shot and the film that you shot it on
Is what makes it special.
is what makes it special and what will make you a better photographer. If they're just editing it for you because you want it to turn the shadows down or something, like play with your settings. Like
Yeah.
learn your camera more
Yeah.
and that will make you a better photographer.
Yeah, maybe shoot on like I don't know.
Switch
The
it up.
Pentax K1000 and mess with the ISO
Like
and like
try,
all
yeah,
of it
try
versus
something
like
new.
versus the point and shoot where it's on. There's so much only so much you can do with the point and
Yes.
shoot, but yeah, I feel like it's fun to mess around.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of film is like you have so much control over the image that you're taking. I love film. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we fully started talking about how our friendship is so beneficial in our business.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we didn't fully hit on that.
About how
So,
much I love you, I can talk about that. We're
So,
gonna hit the 2-hour mark if we
we-
start on this.
well, we will save that will just be like a little sneak peek for the next
Okay.
episode. And I think we can end this episode with maybe one more like little fun question.
Okay.
But I did have like I feel like I had some like specific things in regards to like what we talk about that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about,
Mhm.
like in our friendship, like as far as anti-gatekeeping.
Oh
whatever.
yes, I love
So
talking about this.
I had a lot of like topics for that,
Mhm.
but I feel like since we're just gonna save those like anti-gatekeeping topics for our next episode, maybe we could. Honestly, we could just end it with film. I think that's good.
Am I gonna be like a mother by the time I'm on here next?
No. I hope not.
Oh, okay. Okay. I just wanted to-
We're recording another episode right now.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
Oh.
We're just gonna keep chatting.
I had no idea.
We're
Oh, I'm
back
so
in
excited.
it.
I thought I had to leave.
No, you're not leaving. I'm not letting you leave. I'm sorry, you're
Oh,
trapped here.
okay.
Is that okay?
Oh my gosh, yes. I'm genuinely so excited. I fully thought we were like on a countdown. Whatever. Anyways.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh. Yay.
So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode with me and Chloe. Chloe co-hosting.
Thank you for having me.
I want to remind everyone that you should subscribe and follow and rate Kick Your Boots Off. Leave me 5 stars because if you're listening to this, you've obviously made it to this episode. And I deserve your 5 stars.
You do.
And also, I just want to throw this out there. I have an email account, and I would literally love if people would send me stories or hot takes, or if you need advice. Chloe can attest that I give great advice.
It really does.
So I would love if you would send me an email at Kick Your Boots Off podcast. No. What is my email? AJ.
.podcast.
Wait,
It'll
it's
be
just
in the description.
yeah, okay, it'll be in the description. Yeah, send me an email. Tell me what's going on in your life. I want to hear updates. I want to hear if this has encouraged anyone. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, thanks for kicking your boots off with me.
Thank you for listening.
What did you do? Smooches.